Okay. So I'm just gonna start. Ender's Game is a book that I would highly recommend. It was the book that got me into science fiction when I was probably about your age, and I still have my copy that I still carry around. And when I go on trips, it's sort of like, I don't know what I would call it, but it's my comfort book, and I absolutely love it. It might be my favorite book of all time. The other book that I would recommend, if you're interested in Star Wars, this is probably the best series that's been written. It takes place right after the movies. It was rumored that the sequels would be based on this. It's the first book is called Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. If you are into sort of light science fiction, I would call it, Ben Bova is a good author. He has this series called The Grand Tour. Pretty much he goes to all the planets and talks about a mission to them and the scientific investigations that they get. It's pretty light, so if you're nervous about science fiction, and this would probably be an easy way in. The newest author that I'm very excited about is a guy named John Scalzi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Agent to the Stars is a fantastic book, especially if you're not into science fiction. It's humorous. I found myself laughing out loud at certain points in time. Old Man's War is a little bit more, I would call, hardcore science fiction. I should say that both of these books contain adult language and some adult situations, so that's my little disclaimer on that. But John Scalzi is probably the best new author that I've read in a long time. Heinlein has to be on the list, either Starship Troopers, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, really any of Heinlein's books. He's one of the founders, I would say, of science fiction. Asimov, again, one of his books or one of his trilogies is called Foundation and is probably the foundation of science fiction. And last but not least, I believe, I have put Arthur C. Clarke on the list. Rendezvous with Rama is probably my favorite book that he's sort of written. And when I talk about imagination and exploration, this is probably the book to read. Heinlein, Asimov, and Clarke, I would say you can't really go wrong. They're the fathers of science fiction, a little bit more hardcore science fiction. So if you're not really into science fiction, I might recommend the earlier authors, but those last three are phenomenal.